What's up, everyone? You're tuned in to the channel Eves episode 121. I'm your host, EEPMON, because there is none other. And today I'm going to try something different. I noticed that on the YouTubes, there are those who have something like a top 10, and they kind of explain, and they're providing their point of view, going through the top 10, whatever the theme is. So I thought I would have my own top 10, or at least 10 things for those starting out in the creative industries or as entrepreneurs. I'm not going to say top 10. It's just 10 things. So I laid them out. So let me begin. I'm going to go ad hoc. I have these points down, and I'll just speak my mind. This could be a long one, but I'll try to keep it as short or brief as possible. So let's start with number 1. Embrace failure as a learning tool. So creative entrepreneurs is a journey of trial and error. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, improve, and refine your craft. Now, you have heard me many of times in previous episodes about the spectrum of success and failure. In fact, I believe that they are one and the same because the spectrum is called experience. So if you fail and if you succeed, learn from that experience, how you can improve and move on. Right? I'll say that again. Whether you succeed or you fail, you assess it in the same way. What did you learn out of it? How you can improve and move forward, okay? Very, very important. And you have to embrace, in this particular case, embrace the failure, especially because, number one, it humbles you, but it's an opportunity to this is what growth is about. This is how we better ourselves. That's how we grow a quote unquote, I keep on saying this, but like a thicker skin, right? We armor up, resilience, perseverance. Because this world is not going to give you everything on a silver platter, right? You have, as entrepreneurs engaging in the creative industry, you have to seek it and make it happen. Very rarely, if not probably never at all, is it just given to you like, voila, here it is. So that's number 1. Number 2, develop a strong personal brand. Oh, that's a really good one. Your unique voice and identity will set you apart. Build your personal brand around your values, vision, and creative approach. So, EEPMON, EatVerse. Well, let's not talk about EatVerse. Let's talk about EEPMON. EEPMON, this brand has been established since 2000. I started with 2005. But it wasn't until I officially incorporated it in 2017. That being said, I stuck with it, right? And how did I start it? I was literally, there's nothing magical, folks. I was bored in class, and I decided I was daydreaming, as I always do, and I was thinking, hey, I want to get out into the world. There's a lot of artists that have monikers and aliases. If they can do it, why can't I? So I think about, what's my spirit animal? I like monkeys. I love the notion of the monkey. Curious, adventurous, sometimes don't give a shit, and doesn't take life too seriously, right? Have fun with it. But of course, you have to do your due diligence, and also when work has to come in, you got to do your work. You got to make it happen. But I like the monkey because because it's more than just that, right? It's not more than just work. It's everything else. It's life. It's about the adventure. So EEPMON is really a funny name of saying ape monkey. It's like Eep is like like ape, and then mon is monkey. So EEPMON. This is a play of words. It's just a very stupid way of playing of words. But everyone had, a big Pokemon, all these different mons at the end. It's like, well, you know what? I'm gonna do EEPMON. Why not? That's the story, folks. There's no really magic spin to it. But I stuck with it. I stuck with that message, that brand, and and I was so adamant. Like any collaboration I do, any sort of mention of my name, any sort of like partnership, I must include my logo. This needs to be there. EEPMON needs to be written. This is some people might not like it. Some people would I remember would question why I do it. I'm so obsessive, but no, it's not being obsessive. It's not being like I'm not being like strict about it, but it's like brand style guides, right? Brand outlines. Like I never, when I started EEPMON, I didn't even know anything about brand style guides or guidelines and stuff like that. But I've already intrinsically knew that was important. And you market yourself, get it out there, get your brand out there that people will start to realize. And then when you have that opportunity where you get to collaborate with a brand that has more established, that there's more known than you, that's your opportunity to really put your brand into focus. And that's how you build brand equity, brand reputation, through partnerships, collaborations, and of course, doing your own creations and reaching out to your to new audiences in your own independent way. So do things independently, build your brand, but also partnership, build your brand. Very important. Okay, network number three. Network strategically. This kind of comes what I was talking about just at about number 2. Connections in the creative industries are invaluable. Attend events, join online communities, and seek out mentors who can guide and collaborate with you. So I already talked about the collaboration. Now, mentors, if you're fortunate to find a mentor that you truly align with, don't just like go shoot in the dark and find any person just because they're like 10 plus years in the creative industry and to call them a mentor. Mentor is beyond just experience. Mentor is, alignment with your philosophy, your interests, your passion. And that's very important because you don't want to have some rando person who you think is great just because they've got many, many years under their belt and has access to so much, I don't know, clientele or whatever. It's more than that. So be very wise about who you choose as your mentor, if you do. Okay. And the attending the events now also, okay, be very strategic in which ones you choose. What are the conferences that you align with? What speaks to you more strongly? And if you don't know, sure, go and attend where you need to. Just get your feet wet. Yes, shoot in the dark. Like go and see where you gotta get that experience by exploring first. But then you're gonna start to realize that that conference is great, not really for me. I don't know I'm not sure if I got exactly what I wanted out of it. I don't know if it's the sort of theme or the industry that I'm seeking. But then later on, you'll get to realize which ones are more impactful. And then once you identify those, make it a cadence to continue to go to those events. Not saying that you have to do it all the time, but keep tabs of those places that you strongly align with. Online communities. There is, maybe I'm kind of OG, but I myself don't really have many online communities I engage with other than my NFT Eepverse community, and it's not that large at all either. But I try this overall. My world is a mix between real life, online, and But at the same time, like, I think just be don't try to go to every single thing that you've that do, and feeling the FOMO, fear of missing out, because then you're going to be stretching yourself too thin, and you won't able to really focus on the things that really matter. So there are many NFT crypto related conferences that I could have gone. Actually, just like went back like last month, I could have gone to what is it called? The Future Event Conference in Toronto. It's all about like crypto stuff. Like I could have gone easily, but I didn't go because it just wasn't really the right timing or the alignment. But I will go to other ones like the Banff Forum, of course, or I would go to like events that are embassy related, of course. So everyone's different. Now I'm really going on. I'm only at number 3. I gotta go. I gotta keep on going. It's only 11 minutes in, folks. Hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe. Number 4, focus on building a portfolio early. Oh my goodness. A strong portfolio showcasing your best work is more powerful than a resume. Continuously update it with projects that reflect your growth and creativity. Folks, I don't know when I last time I updated a resume. I don't have one. I don't have a resume. I don't have a resume. Like, you have to have 3 pages to show that your education, your blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know. I guess I do have a pretty robust LinkedIn. I'll put my LinkedIn profile in my show notes. So I guess you could generate I think you could generate your resume through LinkedIn, but that's what I do. But it's absolutely correct. I am very, what's the word? I'm very, hold on a second. I'm trying to get the word here. I guess I'm very strict and disciplined about maintaining an updated portfolio. Okay. I mean, I used to be a lot more. Maybe I eased a little bit more now that I've been using Instagram, and I only update really main events on my EEPMON.com website. But I think it's a good discipline. It's a good exercise because it's part of the routine as a creator, an aspiring creator and an entrepreneur, right? This is part of marketing yourself. This is part of the brand reputation. So if you go to eepmon.com right now, you'll see that I have an extensive background of things that I've done. Go to the /press section, see sort of the where I've been featured. Go to /speaker, places where I've spoken. I know that my website could probably do a bit of more finesse. But you know what? The fact is that you're updating it, and it's the world to see. But ultimately, I think it's a good exercise for yourself because you are developing, again, I say that word, that cadence and a discipline, and subconsciously you are sort of cleaning up or organizing yourself. It's like, imagine you have a messy room, but you clean your room, it feels a lot better. You feel more organized, more like proper. You feel clean. That's what it is. That's what I think updating a portfolio is. So you can build that foundation, continuously build that foundation. Very important, folks. It's the portfolio. Build the portfolio early. Now, number 5, leverage technology. You don't have to tell me that. Be open to using new tools and platforms to market your work, connect with audiences, or produce content. Understanding digital trends will give you an edge. You can count on that. It just so happens, of course, I'm a digital artist. Just so happens that I do computer programming coding to create digital art, visual arts. But you don't need to be like code savvy in order to know the trends and leveraging technology, right? Nothing's stopping an analog artist to convert their work into an NFT, right? I bet you if I say NFT right now, I bet you some of my audience be like, He did not say the dreaded word or acronym of NFT, non-fungible token. Oh, it's so cringy. Oh my god. So you got to stop you got to stop saying that. You got to stop thinking that. See, already you are stuck in that mindset of adversity. The opportunity is always the 180, okay? Where everyone is saying nay, no way on blockchain, NFT, no way to AI. If you are on that bandwagon, then you are setting yourself up for failure. I truly believe that, okay? And why I say that, why I'm very, very adamant about what I just said, is because I have seen every single cycle when a new platform or a new technology comes into the foray for people to use, or it's just being introduced, majority of people will not accept it, simply because that's that's part of the human nature. That's 99% of society. They will not embrace change, even though they talk the talk. But to walk the walk, my friends, far and few. But those who dare to walk the walk, or at least get their feet wet in something new, exploration, new trends of technology, etc., I believe will do them, you, myself, good. Trust me on that. Okay? I can go off a tangent, but even with eFirst, right? Look, I'm doing eFirst right now, and to be frank, with my co-founder Killjoy, we're making some really great progress, great technology. But guess what? We don't really have an audience. You know why? Because people are fearful about this whole blockchain thing. But why are we doing it? We're doing it because we embrace this. We are loving this new trend. We like to think that we're like modern day startup in the garage building things. Like the joy of using latest things to create and especially a new path for me to explore my artistry using this technology. Why not? That's amazing. That's fun. What can we learn from it? So you could take two approaches. One, you could say, I'm not going to leverage new technology into my workflow, or you can. And I say the latter is much more effective and impactful for your creative career and entrepreneurial, especially your entrepreneurial career. All right. Number 6, balance passion with business savvy. Creative passion is essential, but so is understanding the business side. Learn about contracts, intellectual property, pricing, and how to manage your finances. So that is very true. I like actually managing your finances. I think this is probably one of the hardest things for anybody, regardless if you're creative or not, just entrepreneurs or just business people in general. As soon as you get that first project, you get that first paycheck, it is very tempting to celebrate and, I don't know, feast in a big meal, or buy that new computer that you always wanted, get that new iPhone or whatever, or just spend it on something. But truth be told, again, I like that notion of delayed gratification. Like, congratulate yourself that you got your project, you got paid. That should be more than enough to celebrate, not needing to spend it. Only when you get this resource, this is the time to really double down and strategically think about how you will utilize that resource. Okay? Not on just trivial things, right? So I think that a lot of companies, what they fail to do is they get too complacent and get too overconfident, that they tend to lose and well, we've heard many stories how companies fail because they poorly manage their finances. So be very strategic about that. Contracts, especially on contracts and intellectual properties. Now, if you get to the point of intellectual property opportunities, then I would assume that you've done enough like client side projects to get to that point, and then you have built. I always felt that like doing a collaboration that's IP related probably means that your brand reputation is at a certain level to be in that to be in that capacity to do IP. But learn about it. Okay, I mean, there's many things you could look into. There's royalties, upfront fees. There's a mix. There's all these things to consider. But again, it depends on where you're positioned as a business, what your brand reputation is, and whether, of course, like let's say if this brand is far more recognized than you are, then let's face it, I think they are in a position of really being on the negotiation table of steering where IP opportunities falls. So there's so many variables at play. But then that's the beauty about it, folks. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to figure out all these things yourself, right? My way, my world it probably will not work for your way. Your circumstances are different, but you will learn, and you'll learn how to adapt, and you learn how to grow. And this is part of the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You're learning all these skill sets, especially the business side. I'm by no means am I an expert in this field, but as creators, we have hardly ever taught about business side in our education. Okay, so this is something that you'll have to. I think that there's a big emphasis on being business savvy. So okay, contracts too, make sure you have those templates, invoices, all these things, branding your invoices, there's all these variables and all these things you have to consider. Number 7, stay adaptable. Oh my God. This hits me so hard. The creative industries evolve quickly. Be open to new trends, technologies, and opportunities that push your creative boundaries and grow your skill set. This is very similar to leveraging technology, but I would let's not talk about new trends in technology. For me, staying adaptable means that do not close a door simply because it doesn't immediately align with your interests. All right. Because once you close that door, then it'll be harder to open it up again, essentially. As I mentioned, am a digital first creator. I'm anchored digital first. So I think that my strength is about being adaptable across industries, whether you're in the fashion industry, video game industry, academic world, institution, museums, government, diplomacy related, being that sort of digital first allows the potential and the strength lies in the flexibility to be holistic across all these sectors. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should be a digital creator, but it is, as far as my experience is concerned, about being flexible, adaptable, has always yielded opportunities and positive impact. Even right now, like this week, I'm going to be following with a lot of emails, and a lot of discussions surrounds around being adaptable, collaborations with institutions that I would never have considered, which I'm very excited about. But I'm actually developing these relationships right now as I speak. But why not? So it's like the power of collaboration, the power of partnering up with different industries. Yeah, don't think that don't close the door because you simply it doesn't jive with your ethos. Maybe not. Okay, I get it. I know I kind of, like I said before, if it has a line with philosophy, I'm kind of being what's the word? Being counterintuitive of what I just said earlier. But I'm not saying don't close the door, right? Peruse it, explore it. Again, get your feet wet. And if really don't like it, then hey, at least you tried. Okay? So stay adaptable, very important. Number eight, collaborate over compete. Very similar to what those other ones. Now that I'm reading it over again, but it's true. Collaborate over competition, folks. Oftentimes, why are we competing? Why are we artists competing all the time? It's funny. When I post shit up, a lot of my artist peers, they hardly ever respond. They hardly respond. It's such a weird thing sometimes. Even in my world, even my artist peers, they don't want, they see what I do, but they never interact. They never support. It's not like I'm not asking them to do it, but I really find it quite childish, folks. It's kind of immature. Really, if I see someone posting something great, I would like it for sure. Why not? There's nothing secretive, or I don't have any grudge. It's you worked hard, good for you. But I don't know. It's just it's an artist thing. It's just so strange. They say artists don't have egos. Oh, they have egos, folks. They have egos. So try not to be a downer. It's difficult for everyone. So we should support each other, not compete with each other. Collaboration can often lead to more opportunities than competition. Find the ways to work with others and tap into their strengths while contributing your own. And that's what I'm doing right now. The things that I'm planning right now. And which I've always done. You don't have to. You see what I've done with my collaboration with Alpha Industries, Canada Goose, Marvel Entertainment, combining different styles, create some new products because of it. I worked with the Snoopy, the Peanuts comics, creating these, unique product line with my arts for the Snoopy IP, all these things, also collaborate with other artists too. I did artists with Satellite Young and a motion graphic video, right? Through collaborations, it's we shouldn't be competing. We should be really empowering each other. So anyway, yeah, but it's a weird pet peeve. I don't know why. It's not a weird pet peeve. It is a pet peeve because I find it weird that artists just don't generally support each other. It's strange. Or at least I'm hanging around with the wrong crew. I don't know what it is. Or maybe just everyone just hates me, I guess. Okay, number 9, understand your audience. Know who you're creating for and how to engage them. Whether you're building a following or tailoring your services, understand your audience needs is crucial. Now, this is interesting because for me, I'm more of an artist side. So really, in theory, in practice, my art should not be pleasing any audience. It should be pleasing myself. That sounded weird. That's really. But what I'm saying is that the art should not be used to cater to external forces. The reason why artists create art, because it is an expression of ourselves. It is an extension of ourselves. It is an extension of how we feel, how we perceive the world, what we're thinking. Okay, it doesn't need to be a message of advocacy or protest or negative thoughts. Like me, I'm a very optimistic guy. I'm a positive guy. So for me, when I create work, it's just as valid. It doesn't have a message of protest. But when I'm creating, I'm not really creating for other people. I'm creating for myself, really. And it just so happens that the work that I created, if it is applicable to a project, then so be it. And that's great. It just so happens that some of my work is applicable or are applicable to different clientele projects. But I think it really depends on what industry you're in. You're in the creative industry, but of course there's huge swath of different industries under the creative world. If you're doing a design studio, if you're really an agency, if you're just going to do a design studio agency that's providing a service for clientele, then that's different. Clearly, you need to know your audience and all that. For me, I'm all over the place. I'm crazy. I create, but I create for myself. But sometimes, yeah, you gotta depending on your industry, and you want to build a following and tailoring your service for clientele or people. To each their own. So number 10, finally, we're 30 minutes in. Number 10, practice, patience, and persistence. Oh my goodness, that's another good one. Success in the creative industries doesn't happen overnight. True say. Stay committed to your vision, consistently put in the work, and trust the process of growth. Basically, and trust the universe. Now, many people will not see what you're doing behind the scenes. Nobody, really hardly anybody, would see what I've been doing behind the scenes, okay? Now, this goes without saying that I'm not asking for people to well, you know how hard I worked? Oh my God, I did so much work, and you guys, it's not fair. You guys not see me, whatever. No, I mean, you're an artist, you're a creator, you do it because you love it, okay? You're not expecting people to throw you a bone here. Come on. But practice, patience, and persistence is so true to that, because part of I've seen too many times where people would give up the first try or the second try or the third try. No, friends, the trial never ends. And in this world, as I mentioned in my previous episodes, we live it, and we live it, and we breathe it. Okay? We live and breathe it. It's part of our DNA. It's part of who we are. It's part of what we do. It's part of how we see the world. And being persistent. Yeah, I mean, every year you continue to develop. Here's one true example. I'm building. I continue to build my business relationships in Japan. Okay, I've been going to Japan every single year, maybe twice a year now. But I've been doing it for over 10 years. 10 years, folks. Persistence, right? And I'm developing and fostering and continue to grow my relationships, my contacts, okay? But it's not until last year at the Team Canada trade mission to Japan that really things started to solidify. Okay? But the prior to those years, could I have said, oh well, or people could have said to me, oh well, what has those previous years done for you? What a waste of money. What has that done for you? What have you learned? How does that, you spent all this money going to Japan with very perceived minimum output. And then this Team Canada trade mission suddenly came in, and now you're even more focused, but what happened to those other years? And I would say, look, again, people are still so gung-ho about looking at metrics here. The reason why I was very successful at the Team Canada Trade Mission Japan's creative industries is precisely because I've been going to Japan prior years. Before that, I understood the culture, understood how business is done, the mannerisms, understood Japan. And I traveled over Japan. I know that industry very well. I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming that I'm 100%. I know everything, but I have done my due diligence very well to be very prepared for a minister-led trade delegation. So for those who are even questioning themselves, oh, what am I doing? Am I going this and this? Is it really working for me? Know that all of the things that you're doing is building what I keep on saying, the spectrum of experience. The spectrum of experience where you learn, you grow, you're persistent, you continue to develop yourself to the point that when that whatever event happens in your career, the accumulation of your experience and knowledge has reached to that point where you can truly truly exercise it with confidence. That's when you will realize, yes, I'm so glad that I went through the thick of it, because I did, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So those are the 10 points, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a longie. But yeah, I will put those 10 points in the show notes as well. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Comment if you like to. But yeah, have a great evening, have a great afternoon, have a great morning wherever you are in the world. This is the channel Eps, episode 121. And man, like, this slime is staring directly at the camera. It's kind of freaking me out. Anyway, have a great night, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Bye bye.